If you can roll up close to the microphone, thank you. Would you please introduce yourself to the jury?
Robert Abbatomarco.
Can you tell us, do you still live in Arizona?
Yes.
Back on October 2nd of 2019, where did you live?
3870 East Phelps, Gilbert.
Okay. Did you rent or own that house?
Rent.
How long had you lived there?
A little over 2 years.
Okay. Can you describe for us that neighborhood? What was it like?
It was a quiet residential neighborhood. It was a very quiet street. It was not a through street. A mixture of families living there.
Okay. Had you ever had any problems or issues on that street?
No.
Okay. And you said that it wasn't a through street. For that whole neighborhood, I guess let me ask you, sometimes there are neighborhoods that have, that are kind of cut throughs to go to other main streets. What was your neighborhood like in that way? Was there a lot of traffic of people trying to cut through to get to other thoroughfares?
No, it was a series of residential side streets winding and into inside the residential community.
I'm going to put up Exhibit 3 here. Pull it out a little. Does this sort of show that neighborhood with this being Phelps Street where you lived?
Yes.
So when you're talking about this neighborhood, there's no easy way to get from Pecos to Fry Road, right?
Correct.
Since you lived in this neighborhood for a couple of years, did you see some of the same vehicles parked on your street all the time?
Yes.
And so you sort of knew which ones would belong to your neighbors?
Generally, yes.
Okay. I'm going to put Exhibit 1 up here. Not sure if you're able to make out sort of little house shapes. Are you able to see those house shapes up there?
Yes.
Okay, so we see this is 3875 East Phelps. Where was your house? Was it on the same side of the street, on the other side of the street?
3870 would have been on the same side.
So on the same side of the street as this, and where was it in relation to that?
One to the left, looking at it.
Okay, so this is Phelps. Are you on this side of the street or this side of the street? The upper or the lower?
I'm sorry. I was on upper, third house in from right there. Yes.
Okay, so here.
Yes.
All right. So kind of across and a little catty-cornered from 3875?
Yes.
Perfect. I'm going to show the feds a couple exhibits, 5 and 7. Back in October of 2019, were you working?
No.
Did you have sort of still a schedule of what you would do most mornings?
Yes.
I want to bring your attention to October 2nd of 2019. Did you leave your house that morning around 8:40?
Yes.
Do you recall where you were going?
Yes.
What were you going?
I was going to the EOS gym on Higley and Pecos for a 9 o'clock appointment.
Okay. How far away, how long would it usually take you to get there?
5 to 10 minutes.
Okay. So you gave yourself a little room to get in there and get ready?
Yes.
At that time in 2019 at this residence, did you usually park in your garage or your driveway?
The driveway.
Okay. I'm going to put up, sorry. If I can have my paralegal approach with exhibits 5 and 7.
Go ahead.
So if you can look at these two photos and let me know if you recognize these exhibits. what they're photographs of?
Yes.
Are those photos of sort of the street and neighborhood where you lived on Phelps back in 2019?
Yes.
The state will move to admit Exhibits 5 and 7.
No objection.
They're admitted.
You told us that when you lived on this street that sometimes you'd see the same vehicles there. Was there any vehicle on sort of the opposite side of Phelps Street that you would regularly see and you would have to pay attention to when you were exiting your driveway?
Yes.
What was that?
There was a van owned by my neighbor who parked generally across from my driveway or a little off.
Okay. I'm going to put up Exhibit 5. Do you see a van in this photograph?
Yes.
Is that the van you're talking about?
Yes.
So this white van here.
Yes.
Are you able to show us in this photograph or describe for us where your house or driveway was located?
The house is what's seen at the far left of the image, the beige colored house, and the driveway would be right where you're indicating.
Okay. So this was your driveway right here.
Yes.
And so you would often have to kind of pay attention to this white van so you didn't go out and bump right into it?
Yes.
On the morning of October 2nd, did you get in your car to leave and notice any other vehicles that morning?
Yes.
I'm going to put up Exhibit 7. In this photograph, is your driveway here?
No.
It's one over.
Yes.
Okay, so we can't see your driveway. This would be your neighbor's house.
Yes.
Where did you see another vehicle that stood out to you the morning of October 2nd around 8:40 in the morning?
Parked in front of the white van, nose to nose, where that tree is.
So right in this shade area?
Yes.
All right, so when you say nose to nose, the front of the Jeep was to the front of this van?
Yes.
And so the rear of the Jeep would have been along where this driveway was?
Yes.
Did anything about that vehicle catch your attention?
Yes.
What?
I noticed that it was running. It had tinted windows. I didn't see anyone, and it was right across from the back of my driveway.
Okay. So the tinted windows, were you able to see if anyone was inside the vehicle?
I was not.
What kind of vehicle was it that you saw there?
It was a Jeep.
Were you able to tell anything about 2 or 4-door?
No.
Do you recall anything about the color?
It was dark.
Okay. And you said the Jeep was running.
Yes.
When we talk about the Jeep being nose to nose, is that sort of the wrong way on the street, parked the incorrect way on the street?
Yes.
Did that also stand out to you?
Yes.
Had you ever seen that Jeep before in your neighborhood?
I don't recall seeing it.
Okay. So it wasn't something you had seen before?
No.
When you were backing out and leaving, did you feel like you needed to take note of anything else of that Jeep?
Yes.
Why?
It seemed out of place, and again, being concerned that it was running, not immediately seeing anybody with that vehicle or in that vehicle. And I was under the impression that nobody was home at the house that it was parked at.
Okay. So here's a car that's running in front of a house that might be empty with dark tinted windows. It seemed a little concerning to you.
Yes.
So because of that, did you do anything as you were leaving?
Yes.
What'd you do?
When I left, I backed out of my driveway so that I was going to be heading in the opposite direction of those vehicles, and I looked in my rearview mirror to look at the license plate.
Okay. So in Exhibit 7 here, were you heading this direction?
Yes.
So in your rear view mirror, you would have been able to see the back of the Jeep. When you were looking in your rear view mirror, you were able to see the back of the Jeep.
Yes.
What did you look for when you looked in your rear view mirror?
The license plate.
What did you note about the license plate?
That it was a Texas license plate.
Is that sort of the white with black lettering?
Yes.
Were you able to take down a license plate number?
No.
Do you recall the vehicle itself, if there was a tire on the back of it?
I don't recall.
When you returned home after going to the gym, can you describe for us what you saw?
Yes. There were a lot of police vehicles and police personnel on the property, on the street. Access to my street, the way I came back, was restricted, and I had to speak to one of the officers, identify who I was, and indicate where I was going.
Okay. Did you have a police officer come talk to you at some point in the day?
Yes.
And did they ask you about whether or not you had seen anything unusual that morning?
Yes.
And did you tell them about this Jeep?
Yes.
And why did that stick into your mind to tell them?
Well, it was no longer there, and I felt it was, again, out of place or an unusual at that time.
I have no other questions for this witness. Thank you.
Cross-examination?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, any questions for this witness from any member of the jury? Don't see any questions. You can step down, sir.
I may go get my